Hello people, I am Dr. Vandal and welcome to this video about the recently ended Modern Warfare 2 beta. I have been grinding it out over the weekend to be able to tell you about some of the new stuff that's in this game and also give my 2 cents about what I think of it. There is going to be a lot to talk about and I'm going to try and make it as short as possible. I'm going to be talking about maps, game modes, some of the new utilities and field upgrades. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about the Gunsmith system and the guns that were in the beta. I'm also going to be talking about some of the new game mechanics and the graphics. And, of course, I am going to be talking about Warzone 2.0. I'm going to talk shortly about my thoughts on some of the reactions and also my own expectations for it. So let's just get into it, shall we? First, let's talk about the graphics. The game looks great. There are some small cosmetic flaws like the way the operator holds certain guns in the menu screen, and also there are probably some in the actual game too, but nothing that jumps out and leaves you frustrated with the overall playing experience. The style is pretty much what you can expect from a Call of Duty game. The graphics are not photorealistic as seen in other games, but they're not cartoonish either. I even ran the game with relatively low graphic settings to maximize the FPS, and it still looked pretty great. There were 6 maps in total in the beta. There were 4 small maps called Farm 18, Valdemar's Museum, Mercado Las Almas, and Greenberg Hotel, and 2 big maps called Said and Sarif Bay. They each brought their own vibe to them and had different nooks and crannies and also elevations in terms of low and high ground. In the 2 big maps, obviously there were buildings to go into and also water to swim and sail in. More on that later. So, game modes. The beta also showcased the 8 different types of game modes that are going to be available in multiplayer. And it gets me excited that there are so many different variations for when we have to grind out to unlock all the guns and attachments we need for Warzone. To start with, we have the usual game modes that are known from other previous Call of Duty games. Team Deathmatch, Hardpoint, and Ground War are all still there. The new additions are Invasion, Search and Destroy, Prisoner Rescue, Knockout, and Third Person Mosh Pit. Invasion is similar to Ground War. It's a 20v20 player battle on a big map, but the twist is that there are also AI scattered all over the map. Now, some will hate this and some will love it. There is a chance of running into campers, but that seems to be the rule as soon as buildings to sit in are implemented into a shooter game. This is a more relaxed and slow-paced game than the other small map game modes. Search and Destroy is a fun and fast-paced bomb plant defuse mode that for me brings back the good old vibes of Counter-Strike, because it's not just respawn instantly, but you have to wait for the round to be over or for a teammate to revive you. It makes for some intense rounds where it can sometimes be nerve-wracking trying to clutch up as the last man standing, but when you pull it off, it's damn satisfying. Prisoner Rescue is the same, only instead of having to plant or defuse a bomb, 2 hostages have to be either rescued or defended. Again, the intensity lies in the clutch moments where you or a teammate has a 1v4 situation and can pull it off. Knockout, again like Search and Destroy and Prisoner Rescue, is a 6v6 mode. Revives are possible and the rounds are intense. In each round, there is a package located somewhere in the map, and each team's goal is to secure and hold the package till the timer runs out, or eliminate the other team. Finally, we have the third person mosh pit, which was brought back into Call of Duty after being out of the series since the last Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009, and as a private match setting in Modern Warfare 3. I'll admit I was iffy about this mode, and though it might not become my favorite mode, it was pretty fun, and the animation and the playfield was pretty good. Now, let's quickly look at some of the utilities and field upgrades that have been added to the game. For example, they added the shock stick, which acts as a tactical grenade that sticks to a surface like a wall or a ground, and emits electricity to enemy players that come near it. Hit with it, and your operator will go into a sort of seizure, firing the gun until it's either empty or the effects wear off. It is super annoying, but the upside is that you can actually get kills if you can manage to aim your weapon while seizuring. The drill charge has also been added and is a lethal tactical grenade that can be thrown at the wall or even the ground. It drills through to the other side and explodes, killing or injuring the enemy on the other side, much as a frag or a Semtex grenade will. It was a fun thing to use and could be a very nice thing to have in your team when combating those pesky campers in Warzone. They also made a lot of new field upgrades, and I have to be honest and say that I have not fully tested many of them, but let's run them through anyway. First up, we have the tactical camera. Basically, you can throw two cameras on the wall and access them remotely. Is it going to be something that is actually useful? I don't know. It seems a bit pointless to me, but maybe there's a use for it. The portable radar is a small device that, when thrown on the ground, gives a small UAV type intelligence, as I understand it. And this could be a nice addition to, for example, Warzone, but we'll have to see. The inflatable decoy was a fun one. Besides the fact that you can get the drop on someone by tricking them, I actually managed to get a kill by popping one as an enemy was running over it, which was kind of fun. Other field upgrades include a suppression mine that stuns the enemy when near it, a DDoS that EMPs from your operator and outwards in a certain area, a smoke airdrop that drops a wall of smoke at the player's assigned spot. Don't know if that's gonna be useful. Who even uses smoke grenades? There was anti-armor rounds. Didn't try it at all. Let's hope it's not another stopping power OP situation. There was something called Battle Rage, which I didn't like. It blurs the screen and makes it hard to see. Sure, it helps with the health regen and you can get around faster, but that's not worth it if you ask me. So, the Gunsmith system. I'm not sure I 100% understand this fully, but this is how I understand it. You start up with a specific amount of guns for different types. Each gun is a part of a weapon tree called platform. For example, you start with the M4. As you level up the M4, it unlocks attachments, but also at a certain level, it unlocks what is called a receiver, which is a new weapon type in that weapon tree or platform. In the M4 case, it unlocks the receiver for the F-TAC Recon, which is a battle rifle. This goes on as you keep leveling up this gun, and so on. Now, the cool thing is that certain attachments you unlock for one gun can also be used for some of the other guns in that platform, which should make new guns much more user friendly when you unlock them. I hope that makes sense. So, the guns we got to try in the beta. Let's start with the ARs. First off, the M4. This was a very enjoyable gun. It was good at close to medium range and even long range. It had some recoil, but nothing that couldn't be managed with practice and the right attachments. This could be a potential meta when the new Warzone comes out. Next, we have the Lachman 556. Good close to mid range. I think it struggled a bit at longer ranges. Obviously, I didn't get to play around with it all with all the attachments for it, which is the case for all of the guns in the beta, either because it just didn't unlock the attachments or I just simply didn't have time to try them out. Then we have the M16, and I was hoping I would like it because I haven't tried it much in the current multiplayer and Warzone. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get it to work. The burst fire was not for me, and I went by this gun quite quickly. The Cast-Off 74U seemed like a pretty decent AR. I didn't try it that much, but it definitely seemed viable. Lastly, we have the TAQ 56, which I didn't like. It seemed to have too high of a TTK as opposed to some of the other guns, which obviously is going to lose you more fights. However, it should be noted that the build was one put into the game, so I couldn't change any attachments. Next, we have the two battle rifles. One of them was the F-TAC Recon, and let me tell you, this gun was atrocious. At least in my opinion. I did not like the fact that it was single fire, and to my knowledge, it couldn't be toggled. Maybe with the right attachments, you can get another fire rate, or maybe you could use it as a medium to long range gun instead of a sniper. But still, I don't think this is gonna win you a lot of games. The other battle rifle was the Lachman 762. This was actually fairly good, but I did notice a bug with it, I think. When you start off with the gun, it shows you using it as full auto, but it's actually single fire. When you flip it over to single fire, it becomes full auto. If this is really what is going on, they need to fix it. But really, is anybody surprised that a bug like this is in the game? This is classic Call of Duty. Moving over to the SMGs, the best SMG was the Lachman Sub or the MP5 as it was clearly supposed to be. It was very good, easy to use, pretty good range for an SMG, even without attachments. Second best is probably the FSS Hurricane, also a very good SMG. What it's missing in long range, it definitely makes up for in close range. The last SMG was the Fennec. This is also a very good SMG that shoots hella fast, a little hard to control without attachments, but we'll see when the full game comes out. We also got to see one shotgun, the Expedite 12. Now, I have heard a lot about this gun being broken and just an absolute beast, but I have never been a fan of shotguns, so I had no practice with using this type of gun, and so I never really gave it much time before moving on. There were also three LMGs in the beta, but it was disappointing. Obviously, they were typical LMGs, shoots hard, hard to control, and reloads once every century. The three LMGs were the 556 Icarus, the Rap H, and the Sakin MG38. From the little time I spent with them, I think the Icarus is probably the best. Next up, the two marksman rifles. One was the LM/S. It was a fun gun to use. It could be a potential alternative to snipers since it does seem to have a one-shot headshot potential, although I don't know about the range it can do. Hell, we don't even know what the sniping situation is going to be in the new game. The other marksman rifle was the Lockwood MK2, which seems to be the same as the MK carbine that is in the current Modern Warfare. I didn't like this gun, even if it does one shot headshot at close to medium range. Lastly, we have the lone sniper, the Signal 50. And let me tell you, sniping is back. Maybe. I don't know. It just felt good sniping again. But the thing I noticed was the high bullet drop on this gun. You really have to put some height on it on those very far targets. But we'll see. With what we've seen from the nerfs they did to the snipers in the current Warzone, I'm not holding my breath for them to give us some good sniper gameplay. So that's all the guns that were in the beta. And I think it just broke a record for saying the word attachment the most times in one video. Anyway, let's move on. So let's quickly talk about some of the new game mechanics that they have put in the game. One of the things that have been talked a lot about is the implementation of swimming and also wall hanging. Swimming obviously is going to bring a whole new element to especially Warzone. The idea of being chased and being able to jump into the water to try and reset in the fight seems pretty cool. And it seems they've been really thinking this through. For example, with how they've made so that bullets move slower and do less damage when moving through water. The wall hang, I don't know if this is going to be used that much, except maybe for the memes. So, Warzone 2.0. Let me start by saying I am excited for this. I know that there are a lot of people already hating on Warzone 2 even before they've gotten a chance to play it. And I do get it from some of the things that we've heard about it. At the end of the day, it's different folks, different strokes, and some are gonna love the new stuff, others are gonna hate it. It was the same when Caldera dropped and people collectively lost their shit. It all comes down to what you look for in a game, and the same goes for the Battle Royale type games, and there are a lot of them. But for me, I'm just excited to get a new fresh Warzone with a reset of the KD, I might add. And I know it's going to take some getting used to the new direction they're taking it, let alone the new map, meta guns, and tactics. All in all, people will try it out if they feel like they want to try it out, and they will keep coming back if they like what they see. Because obviously, people won't be playing a game they hate just so they can complain about it, right? Well, unfortunately, some people do, but for the most part, people complain and moan because deep down they love the game and they want it to be good. And when it doesn't live up to their expectations, they feel let down by the creators. So I do hope the designers will listen not only to the people that were invited to the alpha, but to the community that loves this Call of Duty series and Warzone because they might be their biggest strength, the community's love for what they are creating. Anyway, we'll have to see when the game comes out. But when is that? If you have the game pre ordered, you can play the campaign side of Modern Warfare 2 on October 20th. The multiplayer will be available on October 28th, and Warzone 2.0 will be dropping on November 16th. Alright, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you liked it and got a little wiser as to what we have in store. Is there something I missed, something I got wrong, or do you just want to share your thoughts on the new multiplayer and Warzone? Please do leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I am Dr. Vandal, and I will catch you in the next one.